Assalamu alaikum and hello everyone. My name is Elif and I am the editor of the platform project. For the last 2 months, September and October, we have been focusing on the issue of civil society in the Muslim world. And today we have a representative of a very important NGO in the UK, Muhammad Mussa from KG International is with us today. Mussa is a research officer of the organization. Welcome and thank you so much for accepting our invitation to interview. We have been following the KG International for some time now, but for the people in our audience who may not be as familiar as we are with the organization, could you please introduce your organization maybe briefly and tell us more about its vision and mission?
Sure. So KG International is a Muslim-led advocacy organization, and we're independent. And we began in 2003, but in the last 20 years, we've sort of expanded our remit. And now we challenge injustices presented by counter-terrorism and counter-extremism policies and strategies.
It has been almost like 25 years since 9/11. And in that time, we have seen how the so-called war on terror has evolved over time. And today, many countries, including the UK, you're in the UK right now, and many countries, they continue to misuse, or maybe we can say utilize, their counter-terrorism strategies against Muslims, and it leads to violations of human rights as well. And I would like to ask, how does KG International work to challenge these violations, and what kind of projects do you carry out to achieve such an aim?
So we analyze these policies and these strategies, and we see how they affect our communities in the UK, specifically the Muslim community as well. We also educate and provide advice to our communities within the UK, knowing their rights, knowing their freedoms, and making them understand the dangers of these policies and these laws. And so, as a community-based and grassroots organization, we seek to empower our community and to make them know what their rights are, and also the dangers posed by these policies and these strategies as well. We also write reports, we do research, and we seek to hold the government and their allies to account for the policies that they implement that unjustly discriminate against Muslims in the UK and across the world as well. We work with clients and we support individuals who've been affected by these policies, like Prevent, Schedule 7, and many others that sort of take away our rights, that silence us and affect our lives personally as well.
I think you're also working on a legal basis, right? Like supporting your clients with legal procedures and legal support in general.
Yes. So we work with clients, we work with other law firms, we provide advice, and we are one of the very few organizations where individuals can turn to. So for yourself, example, if you're stopped at the airport in the UK and you're detained for a number of hours, who are you going to turn to? You turn towards KG. You come towards us and we'll take care of you, and we'll provide you with the support, with the advice, and we will show you your rights as well. And in this manner, this is how we seek to challenge the injustices posed by these unfair and oppressive policies of the government.
Yeah, and it says on your website that you are present in 24 countries, including here in Turkey. And what kind of partnerships or collaborations do you have with these countries? Because as far as I understand, you are also working maybe in alliance with other organizations in the UK, but what about other countries outside of UK? Do your projects kind of encompass these collaborations with specific issues, for example, related to Turkey, to Sweden, etc.?
So currently our remit is mainly based within the UK, but we are growing our presence across Europe as well. And in regards to the clients that we represent, they're not just from the UK or Europe, but they're from across the world. So we've represented clients from Turkey, clients from Africa, clients from Asia, who've been affected by these policies, regardless of whether they're British or not. And we also seek to expand and increase our collaboration and alliances with like-minded organizations. And more recently, we've been working with other organizations within Europe, specifically within Austria, within France and Denmark. And so we believe that by allying and making alliances with like-minded organizations, we can provide and present a united front against these states, against their policies, and we can show the people that, you know what, we are here and we are united and we represent you as well. So we believe in strength in alliances, we believe in strength in unity, and we want to show the people that you're not alone and we are not alone, that there are many other organizations working for your cause.
I was also wondering that with the growing Islamophobia, I think it increases as we see in the media and the different incidents all around the world. The cases or the clients that consulting you about these situations, do you see an increase as we also see in the media in terms of Islamophobia? It's a more general question maybe, but do you see some sort of increase in the reports or the clients that coming to you for support?
Oh yes, definitely. There has been an exponential increase in Islamophobia, in discrimination against Muslims, and specifically in the last year, since the genocide in Palestine has been taking place. In the UK, thousands of people have been silenced and criticized and targeted for expressing their support for Palestine, for calling out government in their support against the genocide in Palestine, and for generally taking a stance that goes against the murder of innocent Palestinian women, children, and men. And majority of these cases are Muslims, and because they're Muslim, they are being targeted by the government, by the police, and by the allies in the media as well. So we have noted a large increase in Islamophobia and attacks against Muslims in this country, but also across Europe as well.
Yeah, I was also wondering that you are also working with clients from Turkey. You said that, but do you have such an organization or some sort of maybe legal body working in Turkey as well, or is it just the people from Turkey that you are supporting?
Yes, they're just people from Turkey. Yeah, those who have traveled to the UK to study, to visit. So we help them if they've been targeted by Schedule 7 or any other like-minded policies as well.
Yeah, and we know that the cages work can be quite challenging, especially when confronting powerful state actors and counter-terrorism policies. How does cage maintain its independence, or maybe we can say its integrity, in a world where advocacy or solidarity, even solidarity organizations are often under great pressure to conform these political and hegemonic narratives?
Cool. So doing the work that Cage does, there are obviously many challenges, but we don't see them as challenges. We see them as opportunities to grow and to become stronger and to continue the work that we do for our people. And so we maintain our independence, our integrity, and our own sort of outlook towards challenging these policies and these injustices. And our community within the UK and across Europe have been very supportive. And first and foremost, we gain our strength from Allah, but also the people come towards us, and they tell us of how we've helped them, And hearing their feedback, hearing their support, it encourages us and it pushes us to keep going forward. And if we were to conform to the government or to other institutions, if we were to compromise on our beliefs, on our principles, and our character, then we would be compromising on our people. We would be letting them down. So by maintaining our independence and our honor and our principles, we are continuing to support the people itself. And that is our focus, that is our aim. And that has always been our mission, is to support the people, to protect them, and to aid them, and to strengthen them as well.
I really think it's quite valuable in the sense that you do not see these see them as challenges, but opportunities to grow and expand your scope of support for other people as well. And I really think that it is important to have that such a mindset. And finally, I want to ask, what are the main goals of Cage International in the upcoming years, and how do you see the organization influencing the discourse, the discussions on global human rights? Because especially after October 7, you have also mentioned how the Islamophobia or the cases that has been taken by you is kind of expanding and increasing. How do you see that? How do you see the cage in all these global human rights conversations or discussions?
Well, we seek to continue working on our mission, our vision, and also by strengthening our position by engaging with other like-minded organizations, by informing and educating our community, by letting them know of their rights, by giving them confidence and reassuring them of who they are and what they were working towards. In the last year, since October the 7th, a lot has changed. The world last year is irrecognizable to the world today. And so we want to continue raising the issue of Palestine, making Palestine known that it's never forgotten, and that the issue of on October the 7th, it began 75 years ago when Palestine was occupied, and now there's an ethnic cleansing of the Palestinian people. So we want to continue highlighting and raising awareness of how governments, not just in the UK, but across the world, are actively silencing Palestine activism and support for Palestine to cover their complicity in the genocide. And we will do this by working with the community, working with the people, and working with other like-minded organizations. And our hope is that in the future, it will become known that there is a genocide taking place, that innocent people are dying, and that the UK governments in Europe and across the world are complicit in this genocide by supporting Israel with their arms exports and their financial export as well.
Even though there has been in the increase in these incidents or in these attacks, we can call it, I believe there has also been maybe we can call it a transformation in the minds of the people, in the sense that the way they see the Muslims, the way they see Islam, they see them in different lights as well now, because of what has been going on, and people see how the lies and the media and the propaganda kind of controls the perception of Islam and the Muslims in different parts of the world. And I would like to ask that, do you see that kind of a shift in the mindset of the people as well, or is it just how it was a year ago before the October 7? In the sense that, do you see that there has been a transformation in in perception of Islam and Muslims, as I told you, but do you see like how people kind of also see how counterterrorism strategies, all these narratives changes about
many people have been sort of enlightened to how these strategies affect Muslims. I'm not too sure if you know, but there have been many demonstrations in the UK, in London, over the past year. And many Muslims who have been exercising their rights to demonstrate, to assemble, and to the freedom of speech, for simply holding a placard, they were arrested, they were detained, they've been silenced. And so many people are shocked as to how can, in a democracy, how can people expressing their rights, how can they be arrested and detained? And so many people are sort of understanding the draconian, the oppressive, and the unjust policies of these laws and strategies. But unfortunately, the government and their allies in the media, they're able to sort of spin the narrative, and they portray these demonstrators, these protesters, and these activists as extremists and as supporters of terrorists, which isn't the case. You know, we're fighting and demonstrating against a genocide that is being live streamed online in the past year. You know, more than 45,000 people have been killed, and it continues to go worse and worse and worse. And so, even though there has been a transformation, the government and their allies in the media and across the world are fighting hard to silence the activism and the dissent, and to silence the criticism against Israel and against themselves.
I hope that this kind of transformation continues for a better use for us Muslims, and especially those in the UK, in different parts of the world, especially in the Western world. We can maybe generalize as such. And thank you so much for having this interview with us, joining us today from the UK. It was quite mind-opening for me, and I believe that it will be just as the same for our audience watching this video interview. And thank you so much again for joining us today. It was a pleasure to have you here.
Likewise. Take care of yourself. Assalamu alaikum.